What if I told you that your body is actively lying to you, hiding horrifying facts, and running disturbing processes you're completely unaware of? From the parasites living in your face to the reason you actually exist, we're about to expose 30 genuinely disturbing, deeply unsettling, and scientifically verified secrets that your body has been keeping from you. This is going to make you uncomfortable in your own skin, literally. Secret number one: face mites are having sex on your face right now. Right now, as you're reading this, hundreds of microscopic mites are living in your hair follicles and pores. They're called demodex, and they come out at night to mate on your face. Yes, your face is a mite nightclub. Everyone over age 18 has them. They're eyeless, have 8 stubby legs, and spend their lives eating your dead skin cells and oils. They have no anus, so they just accumulate waste their entire lives until they die and decompose on your face. You can't get rid of them. They're permanent residents. Sleep tight knowing that dozens of tiny creatures are currently crawling across your eyelashes, having their best life. You're not just a person, you're an ecosystem. Secret number two: your stomach acid can dissolve metal. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid so strong it can dissolve razor blades, nails, and metal coins. It's pH 1.5 to 3.5, which is stronger than battery acid. So why doesn't it dissolve your stomach itself? Your stomach lining regenerates completely every 3 to 7 days. You're constantly growing a new stomach because the old one is being destroyed by its own acid. The mucus layer protecting your stomach is only 1 millimeter thick. That's all that stands between your stomach acid and your internal organs. When this system fails even slightly, you get ulcers, which are literally holes burned through your stomach lining. You're containing a substance that can melt metal inside a flesh bag that has to regrow itself weekly. This is a design flaw that somehow works. Secret number three: your brain eats itself when you don't sleep. When you skip sleep, your brain starts literally consuming itself. This process is called autophagy, where brain cells cannibalize their own connections and damage components. A little bit is healthy maintenance, but chronic sleep deprivation turns this into aggressive self-destruction. Studies on mice show that sleep-deprived brains have astrocytes, support cells, that start eating synapses and neural connections at a much higher rate. Your brain is so desperate for the cleanup that only happens during sleep that it goes into overdrive, potentially causing permanent damage. Every all-nighter isn't just making you tired, it's forcing your brain to devour its own structure. The brain damage from chronic sleep loss isn't metaphorical. It's literal self-cannibalism. Secret number four: you're constantly breathing in dead skin cells. About 80% of household dust is dead human skin cells. Every breath you take in your home, you're inhaling the microscopic remains of yourself and everyone who lives with you. You're breathing in your own corpse particles. Humans shed about 30,000 to 40,000 dead skin cells every single minute. That's roughly 9 pounds of dead skin per year. It goes everywhere: your bed, your carpet, floating in the air. Dust mites eat it, then you breathe in dust mite feces. Your pillowcase can contain up to 17 different types of fungus feeding on your dead cells. You think you're sleeping on fabric? You're actually sleeping on a buffet of your own decomposition that's feeding microscopic organisms. Secret number five: your eyes have a blind spot you don't notice. There's a spot in your vision where you're completely blind because there are no photoreceptors where your optic nerve connects to your retina. You have 2 of these blind spots, one in each eye, and your brain just fills in the gap with made-up information. Your vision isn't reliable documentation of reality. It's your brain's best guess based on surrounding context. The blind spot is big enough to hide several cars at a distance. Your brain is constantly photoshopping reality in real time, and you never notice. Everything you see is filtered through a neural image editing program that's inventing details to cover its own flaws. Reality is whatever your brain decides to render, not what's actually there. Secret number 6. You have corpses inside you right now. Your body contains the dead remains of your twin siblings. During early development, most pregnancies actually start as multiples, but one embryo absorbs the others. This is called vanishing twin syndrome, and it happens in up to 30% of pregnancies. The absorbed twin cells can remain in your body forever, a condition called microchimerism. You might have cells with different DNA living in your organs, your brain, even your eyes, remnants of siblings who never made it. Some people have two different blood types or patches of different skin color from absorbed twins. You're not just one person, you're potentially a biological mashup of multiple individuals. You won the ultimate survival competition before you were even born, and you're wearing the evidence.
Secret number 7. Your bones are wet. When you think of bones, you picture dry white structures from Halloween decorations. Real living bones are wet, covered in blood vessels, and actively bleeding if broken. Bones aren't dead, they're living tissue, pink and moist, surrounded by a tough membrane. Inside your bones is soft, squishy marrow that produces 200 billion new red blood cells every single day. Break a bone, and you're not just cracking a hard structure, you're rupturing living tissue that's actively pumping blood. The dry white bones you've seen are bleached, cleaned, and dead. Your actual skeleton is a wet, bloody organ system that's constantly rebuilding itself. Everything you thought you knew about bones from museums is a lie. Your skeleton is grotesquely alive. Secret number 8. You're taller in the morning than at night. You wake up about 1 to 2 centimeters taller than when you went to bed. Gravity compresses the cartilage discs in your spine throughout the day, squishing you shorter. While you sleep horizontally, the discs rehydrate and expand. Astronauts in space grow up to 5 centimeters taller because there's no gravity compressing them. Sounds great until you realize their spines are stretching unnaturally, causing severe back pain. Your height isn't fixed. It's a variable measurement that changes based on how recently gravity has been crushing your spine. You're not a stable structure. You're a soft, compressible meat stack slowly being squashed by the planet, all day, every day. Secret number 9. Your gut has more neurons than your cat's brain. Your digestive system contains 200 to 600 million neurons, more than a cat's entire brain. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it can operate completely independently from your brain. Your gut literally has a mind of its own. This is why you get gut feelings and why anxiety causes stomach problems. Your stomach is producing 90% of your body's serotonin, the happy chemical. Your stomach is sending signals to your brain constantly, influencing your mood, decisions, and mental health. Depression isn't just in your head. It's in your intestines. You have 2 brains, and the one in your stomach is making decisions without consulting the one in your skull. You're less one unified person and more a collection of semi-autonomous systems loosely coordinating.
Secret number 10. You see your nose all the time, but your brain hides it. Your nose is in your field of vision 100% of the time, but your brain actively filters it out. Try this. Close one eye and you'll suddenly notice your nose in your vision. Your brain has been photoshopping it out of your conscious awareness your entire life. This is called unconscious selective attention. Your brain is constantly making editorial decisions about what reality you experience, deleting information it deems irrelevant. You think you see the world objectively. You actually see an edited version your brain decided to show you. How much else is your brain hiding? You'll never know because the filtering happens before conscious awareness. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing your brain's curated feed. Secret number 11. Your body glows in the dark. Humans produce bioluminescence. You literally glow in the dark, emitting light particles called photons. The light is about 1,000 times weaker than what our eyes can detect, but it's there, and it's brightest around your mouth and cheeks. This isn't metaphorical, it's measurable with sensitive cameras. Your glow fluctuates throughout the day, lowest in the morning, highest in late afternoon. It's caused by metabolic reactions in your cells.
You are literally a light source, just an incredibly dim one. Every person is a walking, talking bioluminescent organism. You're basically a biological glow stick that's too weak to notice, but the light is real. Secret number 12. Your appendix isn't useless. It's a safe house for bacteria. For decades, we were told the appendix is a useless evolutionary leftover. Wrong. Recent research shows it's a safe house for beneficial gut bacteria. When you get severe diarrhea that flushes out your intestinal bacteria, your appendix releases its backup supply to repopulate your gut. The appendix is basically a bomb shelter for your microbiome, storing reserves for when disaster strikes. People who've had their appendix removed have longer recovery times for certain infections. It's not vestigial, it's emergency storage. Your body has a prepper bunker in your abdomen storing bacterial refugees for the apocalypse scenario of gastrointestinal distress. Evolution kept it around for a reason.
Secret number 13. You've got the same number of hairs as a chimpanzee. Humans aren't hairless. We have approximately the same hair follicle density as other primates. Our hair is just much finer and lighter, making it nearly invisible. You're just as hairy as a chimpanzee. Your hair just sucks at being visible. We evolved thinner, less visible body hair possibly for better cooling through sweating or for detecting parasites easier, but the follicles are all there, producing nearly invisible vellus hairs covering most of your body. You're not a hairless ape. You're an ape with disappointingly thin hair. Every inch of your body except palms and soles is covered in tiny hairs you barely notice. You're functionally as hairy as Bigfoot, it just doesn't show. Secret number 14. Your lungs are pink because they're full of blood. Healthy lungs aren't the gray or black you see in anti-smoking ads. They're bright pink, squishy, and essentially blood-soaked sponges. They're full of blood vessels and capillaries, constantly filtering blood and exchanging gases. The surface area of your lungs, if flattened out, would cover a tennis court, about 70 square meters of blood-soaked membrane. You're breathing with two giant pink sponges that are actively pumping blood through microscopic vessels while simultaneously pulling oxygen from air. Lungs are weird, wet, and disturbingly organic in ways the diagrams never conveyed. Every breath is blood and air mixing in a wet, squishy organ that sounds revolting when you really think about it. Secret number 15. You're slightly radioactive. Your body contains potassium-40, a radioactive isotope. You're constantly emitting radiation, not enough to harm others, but measurable with sensitive equipment. Every banana you eat increases your radioactivity temporarily. Sleeping next to someone exposes you to about 0.05 microsieverts of radiation per night from their radioactive potassium. You're a tiny, walking nuclear reactor powered by the food you eat. Carbon-14 dating works because you're absorbing radioactive carbon while alive. You're not just biological, you're slightly nuclear. Every hug is an exchange of radiation. Romance just got weird. Secret 16. Your brain doesn't feel pain. The organ that allows you to experience pain cannot feel pain itself. Your brain has no pain receptors. Brain surgeries can be performed on conscious patients who feel nothing as surgeons poke around in their exposed brain tissue. Headaches aren't your brain hurting. They're blood vessels, muscles, and membranes around your brain. The brain itself is numb. Surgeons can stimulate different brain regions and cause patients to smell things, see colors, or recall memories, all while the patient feels no pain. Your consciousness exists in an organ that's completely incapable of sensing itself being damaged. The thing that processes all pain is immune to pain. That's not poetic, it's just bizarre biology. Secret 17. You produce a liter of saliva every day. Your mouth generates about 1 to 1.5 liters of spit daily. That's a full water bottle of spit. Over your lifetime, you'll produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. You're a biological saliva factory running 24/7. Saliva isn't just water. It contains enzymes that start digesting food, antibodies that fight bacteria, and proteins that repair your mouth tissue. Without it, your teeth would rot, your mouth would be constantly infected, and you couldn't taste food properly. You're perpetually generating a complex chemical cocktail and swallowing it constantly without noticing. Every conversation, every meal, every sleep, you're producing and recycling liquid that would fill a swimming pool over your lifetime. Secret 18. Your tongue stays in your mouth through pure muscle. Your tongue isn't attached to any bone. It's pure muscle, anchored only by connective tissue. It's strong enough to exert massive pressure. Your bite force is limited not by jaw strength, but by your brain protecting your teeth and tongue from your own power. The tongue is the strongest muscle relative to its size, capable of lifting objects many times its weight. It's also the only muscle in your body that works without a skeleton for leverage. It's a muscular hydrostat, like an octopus tentacle or an elephant trunk, operating entirely through muscle pressure and tension. Your mouth contains a boneless, powerful tentacle that you use constantly without thinking about how weird it is. Secret number 19. Your ears never stop growing. Unlike most body parts that stop growing in adulthood, your ears and nose continue growing your entire life. The growth is slow, about 0.22 millimeters per year, but it's constant and permanent. This is why elderly people often have noticeably larger ears and noses. It's not just sagging from gravity, they're actually bigger. The cartilage continues growing and gravity pulls on it, combining for increasingly prominent features. You're born with the ear and nose size you'll never have again. Everything else is expansion. By the time you're 80, your ears will be significantly larger than they were at 30. You're not done growing, you're just growing the weird parts now. Secret number 20. You're constantly covered in a bacterial rainforest. Your skin hosts about 1,000 different species of bacteria and around 1 trillion individual bacterial organisms. You're not just carrying bacteria, you're a walking ecosystem supporting complex communities. Your armpit bacteria are completely different species from your foot bacteria, which are different from your scalp bacteria. Each body region has its own specialized bacterial colonies. You're not one organism, you're a symbiotic collective of human cells and trillions of bacteria working together. When you wash, you're committing bacterial genocide, but they repopulate within hours. You can never be truly clean because you includes all those bacteria. They're part of your identity. Secret number 21. Your eyes move in microsaccades constantly. Your eyes are never still. Even when you think you're staring at something, your eyes are making tiny, jerky movements called microsaccades about 3 times per second. Without these movements, your vision would fade to nothing. Your visual system needs constant motion to refresh the image. If an image is perfectly stabilized on your retina, it disappears within seconds. Your brain requires constant scanning to maintain the illusion of stable vision. Every moment you think you're looking at something steady, your eyes are frantically twitching to keep the image alive. Your perception of stable vision is a lie constructed from thousands of tiny jerky movements your brain seamlessly stitches together. Secret number 22. You have genes from viruses. About 8% of your DNA comes from ancient viruses that infected your ancestors millions of years ago. These viral sequences got incorporated into the human genome and now get passed down through generations. Some of these viral genes are now essential for human life, particularly for placenta development. You literally couldn't exist without virus DNA that invaded your evolutionary ancestors. You're part virus, and some of those viral genes serve important functions. You're not purely human, you're a genetic mashup that includes parasitic code from ancient infections that became permanent features. Evolution is messier and weirder than anyone wants to admit. Secret number 23. Your body runs a constant low-grade fever fighting cancer. Every day, your body produces anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 cells that have precancerous mutations. Your immune system finds and destroys them constantly. You're developing and defeating cancer continuously throughout your life. Cancer isn't something that suddenly appears. It's something your body prevents thousands of times successfully before one finally gets through. You're in a daily war against your own cells trying to kill you. The rare times cancer succeeds represents your immune system's failure after countless successful battles you never knew about. Every day you don't have cancer is your immune system winning. You're surviving cancer right now. You just don't know it. Secret number 24. Your muscles don't push, they only pull. Muscles can only contract or pull. They cannot push. Every movement you make requires pairs of muscles. One pulls one direction, another pulls the opposite direction. Your skeleton is being constantly yanked around by opposing muscle teams. There's no such thing as your muscle pushing something. When you push a door, your tricep pulls your arm straight while your bicep relaxes. Your entire range of motion is achieved through teams of muscles pulling against each other in carefully coordinated patterns. You're not controlling your body. You're managing pull war teams of meat fibers fighting each other in balanced opposition. Movement is organized internal conflict. Secret number 25. You can't breathe and swallow at the same time. Try it. You physically cannot breathe and swallow simultaneously because the same opening is used for both. Your epiglottis, a flap of cartilage, seals your windpipe when you swallow to prevent choking. This is a terrible design flaw that causes thousands of choking deaths annually. Other mammals have separate pathways for breathing and swallowing, but humans sacrificed this safety feature for the ability to speak complex language. Your throat is a single multi-purpose tube that has to rapidly switch between breathing and eating, and sometimes it fails catastrophically. You trade choking risk for the ability to talk. Every meal is a small gamble with death because of an evolutionary compromise. Secret number 26. Your cells are mostly empty space. Atoms are 99.99999% empty space. Your cells are made of atoms. Therefore, you are essentially empty space held together by electromagnetic forces. If you removed all the empty space from atoms in all humans, the entire human species would fit in a sugar cube. You feel solid, but you're mostly nothing. Matter is an illusion created by forces preventing atoms from passing through each other. You can't walk through walls not because you're solid, but because the electromagnetic forces in your atoms repel the forces in the wall's atoms. You're a ghost of energy held in place by forces. Physical reality is mostly void, and you're part of that void pretending to be substantial. Secret number 27. Your immune system could kill you in minutes. Your immune system is powerful enough to kill you incredibly quickly. That's what happens in severe allergic reactions, anaphylaxis. Your body basically declares war on itself, releasing massive amounts of histamine and other chemicals that can stop your breathing and crash your blood pressure in minutes. Your immune system is constantly on the edge of friendly fire. Autoimmune diseases are your immune system attacking your own tissue because it mistakenly identifies you as the enemy. The same system protecting you from disease can turn on you instantly. You're hosting an extremely powerful military force that occasionally commits war crimes against its own citizens. You're one mistaken identification away from your immune system trying to kill you. Secret 28. You're aging faster when you're awake. Every moment you're awake, your cells accumulate damage faster than your body can repair it. Sleep is when most cellular repair happens. The longer you stay awake, the more damage accumulates. This is why sleep deprivation ages you visibly. It's not metaphorical tiredness, it's actual cellular damage accumulating. Your DNA gets damaged throughout the day from normal metabolism, and it mostly gets repaired at night. Chronic sleep loss means chronic damage accumulation, speeding up aging at the cellular level. Every all-nighter is literally aging you faster. You're not making up for lost sleep, you're losing repair time that accelerates your decay. Secret 29. Your heart will beat up 3 billion times. Your heart will beat about 100,000 times per day, 135 million times per year, roughly 2.5 to 3 billion times over your lifetime. It never rests. Every second, it's contracting and relaxing, pumping 5 liters of blood through 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels. Your heart started beating before you were born and will beat until the second you die. It's a muscle that cannot take a break, ever. If it stops for more than a few minutes, you're dead. You're kept alive by an organ that's been working nonstop since before you existed as a conscious being. It's the only muscle that must never rest. And one day, it will simply stop. And so will you. Your life is measured in heartbeats, and the countdown started before you knew you existed. Secret 30. You're younger than your birthday. Due to time dilation from Earth's movement through space, different parts of your body age at slightly different rates. Your head ages faster than your feet because time moves slower in stronger gravitational fields. The difference is only about 90 billionths of a second over your lifetime, but it's real and measurable. Your head has lived longer than your feet. Time isn't uniform across your body. Einstein's relativity means that your age isn't a single number. It's a gradient from head to toe. You're not one age, you're a distribution of slightly different ages. Even your own timeline isn't consistent with itself. Physics is weird, and you're experiencing it constantly. So there you have it, 30 deeply disturbing secrets your body never bothered to mention. You're not the clean, efficient, well-designed machine you thought you were. You're a wet, glowing, partially radioactive colony of bacteria and ancient virus DNA, held together by electromagnetic forces in mostly empty space, fighting off cancer daily, while your brain hides information from you and your face hosts a thriving mite civilization. Which of these will haunt you forever? Which one made you most uncomfortable? Drop your existential body horror in the comments. And if you now feel like a stranger in your own flesh, smash that like button and subscribe, because reality is way weirder than you thought, and we're just getting started. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go moisturize my face mites.